Hi, I'm Nick from Greenlight Electrical, and in this video I'm going to be talking about electric gates. So an electric gate is a gate that's been fitted with a motor. It can be an existing gate or it could be a new gate. But one of the benefits of it being a new gate is you can design it specifically for automation, in which case you can sometimes design out some of the safety features. But it could be a sliding gate, it could be a swing gate, it can be anything. Yeah, there are different types of electric gates. Typically with a swing gate, you can either have a motor that sits in the ground or you can have a motor that sits on the back of the gate. In theory, a motor that sits on the back of the gate has got to work harder because it's trying to pull the gate at an angle, whereas a motor that sits in the ground is actually carrying the weight of the gate, so it can be a little bit more reliable. With a sliding gate, there's two real types. You get a sliding gate that runs on a track, in which case you really need to have a level ground, or you can get a cantilever sliding gate, which basically levitates across the opening. It does mean you've got to have typically an additional third of the space behind the gate for it to open back against. So they can work in any number of ways, but the main things to think about are how are you as a user going to want to use the gate? Do you want to drive up and it open automatically? Do you want to be able to let guests in? Do you want people to be able to get in without permission? So if it's a gardener or a groundskeeper, are they going to have a code that they can get in and out without having to bother you? Most of the options are either a remote control, a digital keypad so they can punch a code in. You can get vehicle sensors that go in the ground, so as you drive up to them they open automatically. Or if you want a bit more security, that could be a number plate recognition camera. But there's a number of different options. One of the other options to think about is the postman. How is he going to want to get in? Some people just like to put a post box on the outside of the gate. Some people would like to have an intercom. And with an intercom, you can have an audio intercom or you can have a video intercom. And there are even options now that can work remotely on your mobile phone, so they can contact you anywhere in the world. Yes, an electric gate should be safe if it's installed properly. There's a number of accreditations out there that you should really look for. So one is the Doors and Hardware Federation, so DHF. There is also GateSafe and CamSafe as well. So these are the main companies that are looking after the safety standards for electric gates, but it does still need to comply by law with the Machinery Directive. There's a number of safety concerns and each site is individual, but what we're looking for really is any gap that gets smaller. So we'd either need to force test it to make sure that the forces on the motor are below a certain standard, or we need to put a safety device in there to make sure the gate reacts if someone does get caught in it. So a gate should be serviced, and it really does depend on the frequency of the use. So most residential circumstances, it will be one service a year. And in that sort of service, we'll go through, make sure the moving parts are moving freely, make sure the safety devices are working. And one of the big problems is slugs getting in the control panel. So it's really good to have the control panel out and make sure that there's nothing in the back there. On a commercial environment, if it's used a lot of times a day, so sort of 50 plus times, it could even be quarterly, but typically it's normally 6 monthly. So the first process is to assess the opening, decide what type of gate they want. We're more than happy to help and just give some advice there. And then it's really the style of the gate, if they want timber, if they want metal, if they want aluminium. And from there, we can look at trying to design a gate in such a way that it doesn't have to have any unnecessary safety devices. So one of the common mistakes is people come to us once they've had the gate fitted, and sometimes that means we've got to put extra safety devices on, which don't always look great from the outside. I mean, the best bet is to call the office on 01425 477 943, or they can give me an email on nick.green@gle-uk.co.uk.